In February 1943, at Kasserine Pass in North Africa, the German Afrika Korps, under Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, faced the United States Second Corps, under Major General Lloyd Fredendall, with the Thompson submachine gun firing 600 rounds per minute. Dust swirled across the rocky slopes of Kasserine Pass, clinging to the boots of German soldiers entrenched in shallow trenches. They gripped their rifles with eyes, scanning the horizon for the next American assault. The Afrika Korps, battle-hardened from months of desert warfare, had repelled waves of infantry and tanks with disciplined fire from Maschinengewehr 34 machine guns. On this February morning, a new sound pierced the air, a rapid staccato rattle unlike the familiar chatter of their own weapons. It was the Thompson submachine gun firing 600 rounds per minute, tearing through the dawn. American infantry emerged from the haze with silhouettes darting between rocks, their Thompsons spitting 45 caliber rounds in relentless bursts. The Germans ducked behind sandbags, confused by the speed and volume of fire. Bullets chewed through wooden crates and ricocheted off stone, forcing heads down. The Thompson, compact at 33 inches long, allowed United States soldiers to maneuver swiftly, closing the distance to the trenches. Unlike the crew-served Maschinengewehr 34, which demanded a stable mount, this weapon was carried by a single man, unleashing chaos in close quarters. The German defenders, accustomed to facing rifles and slower-firing machine guns, struggled to adapt. Their bolt-action carabiner 98K rifles, effective at 500 yards, were outpaced in the tight confines of the pass. The Thompson's 20-round magazine emptied in seconds, but Americans reloaded with practiced speed, maintaining a wall of fire. From the German perspective, American shadows advanced their guns, barking endlessly, overwhelming our lines. The weapon's portability and firepower shifted the rhythm of the assault, turning a familiar defense into a desperate scramble. The soldiers of the Afrika Korps, under Rommel's command, had faced British Sten guns and Soviet Pistolet Pulemyot Shpagina 41 submachine guns, but the Thompson was different. Its heavy 45 caliber rounds punched through light cover, wounding men sheltering behind thin barricades. The Americans pressed forward, exploiting the confusion, their submachine guns dictating the pace of the fight. In the trenches, the Germans realized this was no ordinary assault. The Thompson had arrived, and it was rewriting the rules of close combat warfare. The United States Army introduced the Thompson submachine gun during the North African Campaign in 1942, reshaping infantry tactics. Under Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, the German Afrika Korps had mastered desert warfare, relying on Maschinengewehr 34 machine guns and panzer tanks to dominate open terrain. These weapons suited their defensive doctrine, anchoring lines with sustained fire and mobile counterattacks. The Thompson, firing 600 rounds per minute, disrupted this balance. Its arrival marked a shift toward rapid close-quarter engagements, challenging the Germans' entrenched strategies. Rommel's forces had faced British and Soviet submachine guns, but none matched the Thompson's combination of portability and stopping power. The Maschinengewehr 34 delivered 800 rounds per minute, but required a crew of 2 and a tripod for stability, limiting its use in fluid assaults. In contrast, a single American soldier wielded the Thompson, its 33-inch frame, allowing swift advances through rocky defiles. The Germans, accustomed to long-range firefights, found their carabiner 98K rifles inadequate against waves of infantry closing within 100 yards. The constraint was clear. Static defenses faltered against mobile firepower. The North African terrain, with its narrow passes and urban outposts, amplified the Thompson's effectiveness. Kasserine Pass, a choke point of rocky slopes and shallow trenches, favored close combat weapons. American troops trained to exploit this leveraged the Thompson's 20-round magazine to suppress defenders while advancing. The Germans observed American squads moving in coordinated bursts, firing and reloading in seconds. This tactic overwhelmed isolated outposts where German machine gunners struggled to reposition under relentless pressure. For the Afrika Korps, the Thompson posed a tactical dilemma. Their defensive lines, built around crew-served weapons and tank support, were designed to repel slower infantry assaults. The Thompson's introduction forced a re-evaluation as American troops penetrated trenches with unprecedented speed. From the German perspective, American infantry surged forward, their submachine guns turning trenches into death traps. The weapon's 45 caliber rounds punched through sandbags, wounding soldiers who believed their cover secure. The stakes were evident. A new era of infantry combat had begun, threatening Rommel's control of the desert. The Thompson submachine gun model 1928 redefined close combat dynamics with precise engineering. It fired 45 caliber automatic Colt pistol rounds at 600 rounds per minute, delivering devastating firepower in tight spaces. Unlike the German Maschinengewehr 34, which required a crew of 2 for its 800 rounds per minute, the Thompson weighed 11 pounds, enabling a single soldier to carry and operate it. Its 33-inch length ensured maneuverability through the rocky trenches of Kasserine Pass. Magazine reloads took 3 seconds under combat conditions. The Thompson's design prioritized rapid bursts over sustained fire. Its 20 and 30-round magazines allowed American infantry to engage targets within 100 yards, overwhelming defenders before they could respond. The 45 caliber rounds penetrated wooden crates and sandbags, unlike the lighter 9mm rounds of the British Sten. In contrast, the Maschinengewehr 34 anchored German defences, but demanded a stable mount, limiting its role in fluid assaults. The Thompson's portability gave United States troops a decisive edge in dynamic engagements. German soldiers noted the weapon's distinctive sound, a relentless chatter that echoed across the pass. The Thompson's cyclic rate of 600 rounds per minute outpaced the bolt-action carabiner 98K, which fired 5 rounds per minute at best. This disparity forced defenders to hunker down as American squads closed the distance. The weapon's stopping power was evident. 45 caliber rounds caused severe wounds even through light cover. Its effective range reached 150 yards in open terrain. The Thompson's versatility suited the North African campaign's varied battlefields, from trenches to urban ruins. American troops exploited its rapid reload cycle, swapping magazines in seconds to maintain pressure on German positions. Unlike crew-served weapons, the Thompson required minimal setup, allowing soldiers to fire while advancing. From the German perspective, each burst shredded our cover, forcing retreat or surrender. The weapon's engineering shifted tactical momentum, compelling the Afrika Korps to rethink their defensive posture against this compact, relentless threat. German soldiers entrenched at Kasserine Pass in February 1943 braced for another American assault, their nerves frayed from relentless desert warfare. A seasoned sergeant veteran of the Eastern Front and North African campaigns clutched his carabiner 98K rifle, its 5-round clip ready. He had repelled countless attacks with disciplined volleys and Maschinengewehr 34 fire, but this morning brought a new terror. The air erupted with a rapid staccato. Unlike any weapon, he knew a sound that seemed to fill the entire pass. The noise was unnatural, a relentless hammering. He later recounted his words etched in a faded report. At first he mistook it for a light machine gun, but the shots came from too many directions. American infantry surged forward, their Thompson submachine guns spitting 45 caliber rounds at 600 rounds per minute. The sergeant ducked as bullets tore through sandbags and splintered crates, wounding men beside him. From his perspective, Americans moved like phantoms, their weapons roaring without pause. The Thompson's speed overwhelmed the German defenders. Their Maschinengewehr 34 required 2 men to operate and seconds to reposition, but the Americans fired on the move, their 33-inch weapons compact and deadly. The sergeant shouted orders to return fire, but his squad's bolt-action rifles were futile against the onslaught. Each Thompson's 20-round magazine emptied in seconds, yet the Americans reloaded seamlessly, maintaining a curtain of lead. The pass became a cauldron of dust and chaos. The sergeant's prior battles against Soviet pistolet-pulemyot Pagina, 41 submachine guns, paled in comparison. The Thompson's 45 caliber rounds punched through cover his men thought safe, leaving them exposed. He realized this weapon changed the battlefield's rhythm, forcing his squad to abandon their trench or face annihilation. The number that matters is 600 rounds per minute, shredding defenses instantly. For the Afrika Korps, this was not just a new gun, it was a tactical revolution demanding immediate adaptation. The German Afrika Korps initially misjudged the Thompson submachine gun in 1942, dismissing it as another crude infantry weapon. Familiar with the Soviet pistolet pulemyot, Shpagina 41 700 rounds per minute, and the Italian Berettas 500 rounds per minute, they assumed the Thompson's 600 rounds per minute posed no unique threat. Its 45 caliber rounds, however, penetrated deeper than the 9mm rounds of rival submachine guns, shattering sandbags and wooden cover at Kasserine Pass. This forced a rapid reassessment of defensive tactics. German officers observed American squads leveraging the Thompson's 33-inch frame to advance swiftly through trenches. Unlike the Maschinengewehr 34, which demanded a crew and stable mount, the Thompson enabled fluid assaults within 100 yards. The Afrika Korps relied on static machine gun nests and panzer support, but these faltered against fast-moving infantry. German commanders issued orders to tighten formations and reinforce positions with heavier cover. Trenches were deepened to withstand 45 caliber rounds after initial losses. The Thompson's rugged design frustrated German hopes of exploiting mechanical failures. Built to endure dust and heat, it functioned reliably in North Africa's harsh conditions, unlike some lighter submachine guns that jammed under strain. German infantry attempted counterattacks with their own Maschinenpistole 40, but its 9mm rounds lacked the Thompson's stopping power. The number that matters is 100 yards, the Thompson's lethal range in close combat. This forced the Afrika Korps to prioritize fortified bunkers over exposed trenches. From the German perspective, American Thompsons turned every advance into a storm of bullets shredding our lines. The weapon's impact extended beyond firepower. It exposed the limits of static defense against mobile infantry. While the Maschinengewehr 34 excelled in open terrain, its 800 rounds per minute were less effective in confined spaces. The Afrika Korps adapted by dispersing machine gun nests but never fully neutralized the Thompson's advantage in dynamic close-quarter battles. The Thompson submachine gun's arrival at Kasserine Pass in February 1943 shattered long-held assumptions about infantry warfare. German commanders under Field Marshal Erwin Rommel had built their North African strategy around panzer tanks and Maschinengewehr 34 machine guns, believing these dictated battlefield outcomes. The Thompson, firing 600 rounds per minute, challenged this doctrine. Its 45 caliber rounds and 33-inch frame enabled American infantry to dominate close-quarter engagements, shifting tactical momentum in trenches and urban ruins. The myth of invulnerable static defenses collapsed as American squads exploited the Thompson's mobility. German trenches designed to withstand rifle fire and artillery crumbled under rapid bursts, penetrating sandbags within 100 yards. The Maschinengewehr 34 delivered 800 rounds per minute, but required setup time and a crew, making it less adaptable in fluid assaults. The Thompson's single-operator design allowed United States troops to advance while firing overwhelming defenders in seconds. From the German perspective, American submachine guns erased our defensive edge, forcing retreat. The number that matters is 20 rounds per magazine, sustaining relentless pressure. This capability redefined infantry roles, elevating foot soldiers to decisive battlefield actors. The Afrika Korps, accustomed to countering tanks with anti-armor weapons, found their Carabiner 98K rifles outmatched in speed and firepower. American tactics emphasized coordinated rushes, with Thompsons suppressing German positions while squads closed the distance. This approach exposed the vulnerability of entrenched lines reliant on slower crew-served weapons. The Thompson's impact rippled beyond Kasserine Pass, signaling a broader evolution in warfare. German officers noted its effectiveness in confined spaces, prompting experiments with their own Maschinenpistole 40, but lacking the Thompson's stopping power. The weapon forced the Afrika Korps to rethink static fortifications, favoring deeper bunkers and dispersed units. The shift underscored a new reality. Infantry, armed with rapid-fire submachine guns, could alter battles once dominated by tanks and heavy machine guns. The Thompson submachine gun's debut at Kasserine Pass in February 1943 reshaped United States infantry tactics across multiple theaters. Its 600 rounds per minute and 33-inch frame proved versatile in the Pacific's jungles, Europe's urban ruins, and Italy's rugged hills. American squads relied on its 45 caliber rounds to clear bunkers and trenches, excelling in close-quarter combat within 100 yards. The weapon's reliability in dust and heat ensured consistent performance, earning it a permanent place in infantry doctrine. For the German Afrika Korps, the Thompson exposed critical flaws in their defensive strategies. Their Maschinengewehr 34 with 800 rounds per minute dominated open terrain, but faltered in confined spaces against mobile American infantry. The number that matters is 600 rounds per minute, redefining close combat tempo. Forced to adapt, German commanders deepened fortifications and dispersed machine gun nests, but struggled to counter the Thompson's speed and stopping power. This shift marked a broader challenge to traditional reliance on tanks and static defenses. The Thompson's influence extended beyond World War II, shaping the evolution of automatic weapons. Its design inspired later submachine guns, emphasizing portability and rapid fire for infantry use. The United States Army integrated lessons from its deployment, refining tactics to prioritize mobile assaults over static engagements. The weapon became a symbol of adaptability, demonstrating that small arms innovation could sway battle outcomes. Its 45 caliber rounds set a standard for stopping power, influencing post-war firearm development. From the German perspective, the Thompson forced a reckoning our trenches no match for its relentless fire. Its legacy endured in military thinking, highlighting the growing importance of infantry firepower in modern warfare. The Afrika Korps experience at Kasserine Pass underscored a universal truth. Compact rapid-fire weapons could disrupt even the most disciplined defenses. The Thompson's role in February 1943 cemented its place as a catalyst for tactical evolution, leaving an indelible mark on the battlefield.